and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So let's now move on to something that, we kind of see coming, and I'd be surprised if Trump doesn't do it. But apparently, allies see rising prospect of Trump 2020 White House bid. Everyone, put on your surprised face, like, oh, Trump's going to run again in 2024. This guy has an ego the size of 3 galaxies, okay? Trump, of course, he's going to try and run again for president. He's not going to take that lost line down.
Are you kidding? He has so much to run for. He just, again, if the Democrats, under their stupidity and Manchin, don't pass that $3.5 trillion, Trump is going to be able to take credit for most of the positive things they did. If they say, we got out of the pandemic under my leadership and what I set up and the vaccine schedules that you said was stupid, I got us out of there. I'm the one that did it. Joe Biden just loafed around. That's all he's going to do. If you don't pass that $3.5 trillion, what can Trump not take credit for?
Yeah. So again, look, and the thing is, Trump running again in 2024 is the DNC and the cul-de-sac progressives and the blue checkmark people on Twitter's wet dream. This is their guy. Corporate media wants this. Their ratings are starting to suck. They need that orange. They need that orange Cheeto crust. They need it. They need it so badly. It's their drug. They're foaming at the mouth. So let's talk about this article from the Hill. Republicans angling for potential 2024 presidential runs are at risk of colliding with former President Trump. And if we see again what we saw in 2016, it's going to be probably more hilarious and probably more interesting than the Democratic primary, because I don't see Bernie Sanders running again in 2024. And if he does, different subject altogether. Continuing on. For months, Trump has floated the idea of a 2024 rematch against President Biden, but in recent weeks, he has begun to signal that he may be more likely to run again than not, intensifying a collective headache for other would-be White House contenders who've already started laying down the groundwork for their own campaigns. Look, if Trump runs again, guys, wrap it up. It's going to be funny. It's going to cream all of you. It'll be hilarious. There is little appetite within the GOP to challenge Trump for 2024 presidential nod. He's still the most influential Republican in the country, and running against him in a primary would be a major political risk for any ambitious Republican. The little polling that has been done shows Trump dominating any potential primary opponent by wide double-digit margins. And while a lot can still happen between now and 2024, that is true, Trump's increasingly aggressive flirtation with a third presidential run has caught the attention of his would-be rivals. I think Trump running feels like more a possibility now than it did before, and to one Republican eyeing a 2024 run, that doesn't mean you stop what you're doing altogether. Yes, it does. Come on, buddy, stop. Until he says what he's going to do, that's not an option. That being said, I think he's putting a lot of candidates on notice, reminding them that he's still in the mix. While Trump has been careful not to say too much about his plans, he has taken steps in recent weeks that suggest a sharper interest in another campaign. He's ramped up his media appearances and press statements, and he's planning upcoming rallies in Georgia and Iowa, the first in the nation presidential caucus state. So again, Trump doing this. He's holding rallies. He's holding events for his supporters, and that's what you're supposed to do as a leader. And have we seen that from the Democrats? No. Trump knows how to manipulate a crowd. Trump knows how to manipulate anything. He knows how to get the media to give him trillions of dollars of free press. He knows how to run the game, and he knows how to raise his army, and he knows how to use his political muscle. Continuing on, his allies also field talk about Trump's looming return to the campaign trail ahead of 2024. Jason Miller, a senior advisor to Trump's 2020 campaign and close associate of the former president, said in an interview with Cheddar's J.D. Durkin last week that the likelihood that Trump will run again is somewhere between 99 and 100%. Representative Jim Jordan, from a Republican from Ohio, one of Trump's staunchest allies in Congress, was also recently recorded in an undercover video saying that Trump virtually guaranteed to run for president again, especially after the chaotic withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. President Trump is going to run again, Jordan said. I know so. I talked to him yesterday. He's ready to announce after all this craziness in Afghanistan. A campaign announcement by former president would almost certainly prompt at least a few of his potential rivals to set aside their ambitions for now. Former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, for instance, has already said that she would not run if President Trump ran. Likewise, Mark Meadows, Trump's former chief of staff, said earlier this year that he does not expect Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to run for president if Trump enters the race. Again, I just want to remind everyone, in a crowded 16 primary race, where everyone was laughing at Trump, he defeated all the Republican establishment golden children. He defeated Jeb Bush, low energy Jeb. He slapped around Ted Cruz. He
looks like
what's up? Am I still here?
You're good?
All right,
there we
continue.
go.
Yeah, so there we go. So I'm still here. Oh, is YouTube trying to freeze us? There we go.
No, I think we're good. Again, this is just a nice little complication of us running remotely. It's just surprise, guys. Running remotely off a few laptops is not as efficient as running the show in studio. What a show!
Yeah, that's not true. So well, yeah, that is very
You're
true.
good.
Yeah. Sorry. All right. So ending this article here, Daniel, what are your thoughts on Trump possibly, potentially, kind of, maybe, sort of throwing his hat in the ring? Let's face it, he's going to throw his hat in the ring.
I think it was obvious. I think it was always going to happen. I think the terrible presidency of Biden that has only been kept up by people saying, well, he's not Trump, and that's good enough, and that's all we should ask for, and that'll definitely make the world better in the long term. Oh, right, it'll just bring him right back and basically lead to nowhere. So congratulations, Democrats. Congratulations, mainstream media. You have failed utterly in everything that you do all the time, continuously, because you can't seem to figure out that you're in a dying empire and you're so focused on bickering with yourselves and your own money and your own estates that you failed the entire country to such a degree that someone like Trump cannot be elected just once, but twice. It is an abject failure, and you should feel ashamed, except they are immune to that because they don't have that gene in their body. They only think about how they can make money off you as citizens from bribery. The truth is, Trump is going to run in, and if it's just Trump versus Biden, he's going to sweep the floor. Everything that Biden has done wrong, Trump can say, I can do better, and have and argue it, well and efficiently. Anything that that Biden has done well, Trump can argue he's the one that put it in motion. Biden has done nothing. The only thing that would change this course of action, here I'm going to say this. If $3.5 trillion gets passed, I give Trump a 40% chance of re-election. Or let's just say less than 50%, a lower chance. Around 40 is reasonable. If $3.5 trillion does not get passed, Trump has a 65% chance of winning. That's on the Democrats. As always, as we say in the show all the time, Democrats decide all of this. And another reason we don't talk about Republicans is they're really not relevant. They really don't exist. The only reason that Republicans exist in Congress is because the Democrats allow it to happen, because they're so terrible. We know in demographics, Democrats win. We know on the policies they say that they stand for, Democrats win. They've won. They just choose not to do it because they're really terrible people that are too corrupt to deal with it. And we're in an end empire state where everyone is bickering and no one cares about the people. So Trump has a fantastic chance of winning. And if the 3.5 does not pass, a greater than not chance of winning. And what's going to happen when a debate happens and they don't properly shoot up Biden with drugs, or maybe they're both on drugs? The worst part of Trump being elected at this point is that the media extends its terrible existence because they will have viewership. That's the worst case. I can't no one can really argue at this point in time that Trump and Biden are rather indistinguishable. By the way, you know what's more likely under Trump? Freeing up our ability to broadcast on YouTube, because he'll do it for his own selfish reasons. But I bet if we were able to ask a question to Trump and he was going to answer, we say, Trump, will you make the FCC make YouTube and all the social media not be able to moderate content in the way they're doing and force them to monetize all these channels? Yes, I want to do that. I want to give the American people freedom. That's crazy that there's a way higher chance of this happening under Trump than Biden. It's a mess. The fact that Trump is right now in my mind, I'm thinking, where would he be better? The fact that I'm even asking that is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, and again, look, a lot of things can be said about Trump, but the thing is that he got into power because of corporate media constantly covering him because he gave him good views. CBS, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, they all snorted up that orange Cheeto. They all wanted it. They all demanded it. And the Democrats, remember, Remember, it was the Clintons that gave him the okay and say, go for it in 2016. So the thing is, it isn't just that Trump decided one day to do it. He was encouraged by it, and corporate media, the press, allowed him to gain more power and momentum. And now he is this monolith that they need. They need him. I'm personally going to be surprised if Donald Trump doesn't run in 2024. I will be shocked that he chooses not to run. Because in my opinion, he is going to run.
Yeah.
And we did a little short pizza bet on how he's going to do his announcement. He's going to say, like, I'm back, or did you miss me? Something like that. And if he does that, it's going to be hilarious. And look, I'm looking forward to actually covering the Democratic and Republican debates, especially in 2024, if Trump's going to be one of the candidates that's going to be running, because you know that's going to be entertaining. And you know then we're going to see a big question on what's going to happen with social media, because if Trump is a presidential candidate, is Twitter going to return back to him his profile? Is Twitter going to reinstate
he's going to
Trump
come back for a
Facebook,
vengeance for
Instagram,
social media,
Twitter?
and I welcome
Come on.
it.
This is something that I'm looking forward to. Now, there might be some people saying, well, kid, Daniel, how can you look forward to Trump coming back into politics? We didn't create Trump. We didn't help him get into power. It is the oh-so-wonderful corporate media and the Democratic establishment that helped make him in the first place. So I'm going to laugh at their failure because they made that Frankenstein. Not me, not Daniel, not anyone else watching. And this is going to be great, in my opinion, because you know what? It's going to get people talking again. And here comes the great, great big explosion.
All the people are like, wow, we were at brunch for too long. It's not good again. I don't know. I don't like the weather. I got to say, if I'm being honest, what's the difference between Trump or Biden? Trump's entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without the dude retweeted a picture of his face on the body of Rocky Balboa. A president.
And again, it's like, if we're just being selfish for a second as content producers, who's more likely to undo the global block on all independent news? Trump. Here again, I don't want to take it because I don't want to frame it in Trump's, because again, Trump and the Republican Party have to stick with my consistency. Trump does not matter. Trump gets elected if the Democratic Party is trash. So let's flip that around, because we have to say this to people the proper way. Trump is irrelevant if the Democratic Party is capable in any amount of capability. The Democratic Party wins every election. The only reason that they don't is that they're absolutely pathetic. So if Trump wins, Trump never can win. The Democrats can only lose.
And you know what's going to be really pathetic? Because if I see this get repeated, let's say in a hypothetical scenario, Trump runs, he wins his primary, and he wins the general election, and he's back in office again. You know what's going to really suck is that we're going to see a lot of those activist groups here in Chicago protest in front of Trump Tower right across the river again. And that didn't accomplish anything.
Oh, and we're going to interview them and ask them a bunch of questions. And then you know what they're going to do? Yeah. You know what they're going to do? Rather than take us seriously, they're going to start going, those are right-wingers. Yeah. Look at them. They're white and they're male.
Yeah.
The second we disagree with them. Isn't it interesting how with those kind of groups that they're really, pro-speech and freedom, but the second that you say something that they disagree with, you're a Nazi or you're a right-winger. Really interesting. Huh. Okay.
I'm you know what, the first protest there, I'm going to try and be professional, Dan, but I can't make promises, buddy. I
don't blame you. I mean, we went through that and we were like, oh, good, this is a start of some ground movement. It turns out, no, they were just wasting thousands of man hours doing nothing that they could have been doing something with.
And again,
we're just going to ask questions like, how does this protest help give people health care?
Yeah, exactly. Across the river from Trump Tower, which is not a government building.
By the way, Trump doesn't own the building you're at. His name is just on it. How does this help us get health care?
Exactly. One other thing, too. Do you think those activists would ever protest in front of, House representatives in the state of Illinois or U.S. senators' offices? Probably not.
That might be a good question to ask them. It's like, hey, you're here in front of Trump, and then we'll just find something that an alderman or something's doing, and just say, hey, we'll just make up a protest, or maybe it'll be like an Eventbrite protest, so it technically exists. Hey, I'm glad you're here. You into protesting? You're here against Trump. Well, that's great. Well, actually, there's an alderman that's actually trying to shut down a kitten museum or something. It's going to be actually happening 3 hours from now at like just a mile away. Are you going to attend it? He's a Democrat, but he's doing bad things.
Yeah.
Oh, you're busy. You're getting brunch. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's going to be so crazy that, like, I can imagine it. We're big enough now. We weren't big enough last time this happened, but we're big enough now that we're going to be accused of being right-wingers all the time just for trying to point this out to Democrats.
It's gonna be hilarious in my opinion. And that's why, to all our viewers and subscribers, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and follow Heartlands Media on Rockfin, Odyssey, and on YouTube. And I'm looking forward to 2024.